right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the lottery for Phase 2 of the Sandpiper Place development. And I want to thank you all for coming here in person, and for everybody who's online, watching on YouTube. Thank you for your patience. My name's Ann Kuspa. I'm the Director of Housing Nantucket, and I'm here with Linda Williams, who is representing the Nantucket Housing Authority and the town. So what we're going to be doing today, most of you I think already know, but do you mind shutting off your cell phones? Thank you. And this is a lottery for 6 affordable homes and 1 workforce home. So we have 4 80% 3-bedroom affordable single-family homes with 1.5 baths for $306,500, and then a duplex unit, which is 2 units, 1/2 of the duplex. And each of them are 3-bedroom units with 1.5 baths for $306,500. Those are available to 80% AMI households, and then there's 1 3-bedroom, 175% AMI unit with 2.5 baths for $881,750. So just wanted to kind of let you know a little bit about the process here tonight. What's going to happen? We're going to draw the numbers, and then I'm going to go back to the office, not tonight, tomorrow, and we're going to sort out, based on preferences, where actually people fall in the wait list. And then you'll be getting an email tomorrow or the next day, definitely within the next 3 days, which gives you the wait list if you're an applicant here, and then you can find your number on those wait lists, so you'll get an idea of where you fell in the lottery, actually. And then let's see, we're only going to do 1 drawing here tonight because all of the 80% AMI units, and those are the ones that were eligible for local preference, they were all from local households, so we're only going to be doing that 1 drawing. Additionally, if you read in the application, we needed to meet some affirmative fair housing marketing requirements. And that just meant that we needed to get at least 30% of applications from minority households, and we got 55% from minority households. So we met that requirement, so we don't need to do anything to make up for any kind of lack of affirmative fair housing marketing. So then let's see, just a couple of things, just let you know. We received 67 total applications, 49 eligible applications for the 80% AMI units, and for the 175% AMI units, we received 18 eligible applications. So after you get this email from us with the wait list, then a lot of you probably looked at those, I hope, looked at the required documents that we're going to be needing from you once you get the feel for where you are on the list. And those required documents, we need pay stubs. If you're a W-2 employee, if you're self-employed, it's financial statements. We need your bank statements. We need 3 years of taxes. It's all the kind of regular stuff we ask for with all of our applications. So this just makes sure that everything that you self-reported as your income and assets actually pans out. So once we determine that an applicant is actually qualified, then we send you over to, we're going to let you know that you can move forward with the purchase, and you're what's known as on the clock. And that just means that we're going to send you the information for the sales office, and that's Capitol Hall and it's KEMS Corp, so that's like the developers here. So we're going to send you their sales office information. You have to reach out to them within 3 days, and then you're going to get some more information about which unit that you're going to want to pick, because there's a map, and you can pick which one on their map. And let's see, they're going to give you some time to complete a reservation agreement, and at that time they're going to tell you the date and the time that your purchase and sale agreement needs to get signed. Also, you'll need to put down a refundable deposit at that time, which is $1,000, and that's refundable if your mortgage doesn't come through. So, but if it does, then within 10 days, you'll need to put down, and that's within 10 days of signing the P&S. So like we talked about at the info session, for those of you who are there, these homes are going to be ready in the next 18 months. So, people's timeline is going to be different depending on which unit you have chosen, and then when that unit is available. But when you sign your P&S, you're going to need to put down a deposit. So for affordable units, it's 3.5% of the purchase price, and for workforce units, 5%. And then you want to give the documents like the purchase and sale agreement, the deed rider, and the master deed to your lender. And the lender's going to approve that and give you a mortgage commitment. And then, time's going to pass. Once you get 30 days till your close date, then we're going to do another review of your income. So you want to make sure you maintain eligibility. And then you close on the house and you move in. So that's the overarching process. And
if they don't make it this time, they have to fill the paperwork all out again.
Yep. So Linda's saying, if this time maybe you weren't so lucky, there will be another phase of this, and at that time you'll need to fill out a whole new application. We're not going to roll your application into that next lottery automatically. We'll need you to do this whole thing again. Okay? So we printed out all of the numbers, so everyone here should have their number that you got an email from us. And so we just wanted to show you as we put the number into this bag here, and then Linda's going to pull the numbers out, okay? So, so here's A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8, A9, A10, A11, A12, A13, A14, A15, A16, A17, A18, A19, A20, A21, A22,
And the 175s and the 80s are in the same bag.
yep, all of these are, it's not distinguished, we're just going to pull all these out. A23, A24, A25, A26, A27, A28, A29, A30, A31, A32, A33, A34, A35, A36, A37, A38, A39, A40, A41, A42, A43, A44, A45, A46, A47, A48, A49, A50, A51, A52, A53, A54, A55, A56, A57, A58, A59, A60, A61, A62, A63, A64, A65, A66, A67. All right.
I got as messed up as I can do.
Yeah, okay.
I'd just like to start by saying I wish we had more units. There are more units coming online from Sandpiper as well, because that's also my project. And there are more units coming, rental units next to the fairgrounds. And if Surfside Crossing gets on, that's all owner occupied, be many units in there. So just keep an eye on it. And when a covenant family sells, keep an eye out for those, because they have to sell to an income qualified person also. So that unit, these covenant units are in affordability in perpetuity. So just keep that in mind, but we're doing the best we can. As you know, land is the problem, not the construction of a structure or multiple units. It's trying to get the land at a reasonable price, and that's where we run into trouble. But also, if you get a covenant unit, the Housing Trust and Nantucket Affordable Housing Trust will help you with closing costs, which run up to sometimes $15,000. So remember to factor that into what you can and can't afford. And they're working on doing a down payment assistance so you can actually get into a unit. So there are things through the Nantucket Housing Trust that will help you get into a unit. I also, if you get one or you get you're doing a covenant that's not involved with this lottery, it's some other covenant unit, I will do your permitting and the HDC and the building department for nothing. So if anybody ever needs anything. And almost everybody on Nantucket has my cell phone. Okay, the first one is A52. The next one is A6. The next one is A62. I think we have a Megabucks winner back there. Oh, the next one's A67. Well, these are all high numbers. A53. A26. A12. They're all sticking together in here.
66.
A66. A25. A35. These all high numbers. A58. A34. A2. Haven't gotten to 1 yet. We have somebody up there that's 1. A22. A23. This is the part that always kills me. I don't have enough houses for everybody. I hate it. I did this Nantucket shuffle for 20 years. A64. Jeez. A65. Can't shake these up any more than I've shaken them up. A47. A59. A21. A10. A4. A5. A1. That's the first 175, isn't it? Maybe.
And some of them could be 175.
Yeah, but he could only apply for that one. Okay. A7. A36. A16. Another winner over there. And just because you're drawn later on in this doesn't mean that you won't get it, because everybody has to qualify and has to meet all the requirements in front of you. And we've had many people further down the list actually get the structure. So this is just giving us a structure as to who has to qualify, and they have so many days and whatnot. A14. A9. A51. I know this is torture for you guys. A38. A43. A49. A17. A28. A29. Oh, another one over there. And we have a lot of people online watching as well. A57. Go that way. A44. A13. A42. A48. A11. A41. A31. A15. A8. A19. A27. A55. A45. A50. A18. A60. A46. A61.
Is that it?
Nope. Oh, heavens, no. A54. A3.
003.
003. A63. A24. A32. A30. A39. A56. A33. A40. A20. A34 or 37. That's it. As I said, if anybody needs help, I don't mind helping you. I started the Housing Trust and I'm on the Housing Authority and everything else. But if anybody needs to get a hold of me to help you through this process, let me know. The person at Nantucket at Cape Cod 5 is also on the Housing Authority, Beth Ann Meehan, and she works you through a lot of this process of getting pre-qualified and everything else, and has my cell phone at her office at Housing Nantucket. So feel free to call me anytime you need help with any of this stuff, even if it's not one of these lottery ones, it's a different covenant. Because I've just done 5 or 6 of them in a row, which are all lots that they bought, and they got Dreamline or house, any of the modulars coming in. I did all the permits for that. So just let me know if you need any help with any of this stuff, because this is a endless process. Congratulations to those who whose numbers were drawn early, but all of you guys maintain hope, because you may actually end up with one of these units. And we have several more units coming on in Sandpiper, because I've only done 26 of the 35 so far. So we have more units, and we have another 175 coming in that section. So just keep looking in the paper, keep looking for covenants that are being resold. There's any number of ways of getting in, and there'll be several units, dozens of units at Surfside Crossing if it ever gets built. So just keep that in mind, guys. You just want to get your foot in the door, even if it's not big enough or you feel jammed in eventually. You just got to get your foot in the door to be able to move forward with anything else and have another kid. This is 6 Fairgrounds right next on the other side of this building. Yeah. There were 60 units, something like that, 60 some odd units. They're all rental units, but they're all supposed to be not exorbitantly priced. They're supposed to be workforce housing, and moderately priced, affordable. There has to be an affordable quotient in there for rental also. But it's been held up in litigation for 4 or 5 years. And I think the litigation is solved, but because it took so long to get going, like Surfside Crossing, the costs are going up. They did lose some of their grants from the state. So, they're holdups. And every time one of these gets sued, because nobody wants it in their backyard, it increases the price of the development, and you have to go through a pro forma with the state again to get recertified. And as you know, the cost of building materials went nutso during the pandemic. So there's a lot of forces at play trying to get these down to a manageable cost for all you guys to get your foot in the door. That's all we want. We don't want to lose this age group. We don't want to lose this economic bracket. We don't want to lose families and have a lot of Nantucket kids that I coached over the years move to the Cape and commute back and forth on the boat because it was cheaper to buy a house on the Cape. They were born and raised here and still come over every day on the boat. That's ridiculous. We got to do something to keep all of you guys here, and I don't care where you came from. We got to keep you guys here, and that's the biggest problem. Because unless the town gets its head out of its rear, that your age group is going to be on the Cape and commuting back and forth with the other 400 people on the High Line every day. And who wants to do that? Your families are here, your grandparents are here, your parents are here. This is nuts. So just keep your eye on the paper and keep your eye on what Housing Nantucket's doing as well. Yep, that would be Ann.
Okay. All right. Well, just let me say thank you for your patience here, and you're free to go at this point. We'll be emailing you all afterwards, but if you'd like to stick around, then I can answer questions from people, and we'll keep the YouTube running too. So the question here is basically, what happens next? Are people going to fall away, and how are we going to make these waiting lists? So what we're going to do here, when I go back to the office, I'll put all of these numbers into a spreadsheet, and then first we'll be doing type 3 households. All type 3 households are going to bump up ahead of any type 2 or type 1 household. So the first number we picked here is number 52. Next, number 6. Next, number 62. So say number 52 is a type 1 household, number 6 is a type 2 household, and number 62 is a type 3 household. By type 3, I'm saying they'll fill every bedroom. So married people will share a bedroom unless there's some documentation that says that they can't. then you've got, say, a child can go in one bedroom, another child can go in another bedroom, or if you've got a single parent, they would go in one bedroom, and then you've got even same-sex children, each could have their own bedroom. So that's a type 3 household. The type 3 household is going to bump up. So number 62 in our example is going to bump ahead of number 52 and number 6. Then number 6, because it's a type 2 household, is going to bump ahead of number 52, even though 52 got picked first. So that's how we're going to do this when we go back to the office. With the 175% units, it's a little bit different because not only do you have a type of household preference, but there's also a first-time homebuyer preference. So, so Linda's talking about income. So basically all of these numbers are all mixed together. It's 175s and 80% all together. So first, actually, before I do the type household preferences, we're going to separate them out to 175% units and the 80% units. And then we start divvying up and prioritizing for household size. Yeah.
Then my next question is about 3 years of tax forms. It's a new year. You want 22 now, 21?
Yep. So the question is, okay, in our required documentation package, it says that you need to provide 3 years of taxes, tax returns. So if it's at this time, nobody has done their 21 taxes yet. So we'll be looking at here we are in 2023 here. So we'll look at 2021, 2020, and 2019.
That's what I thought. But could you, down the line, when you get closer to, say I got so lucky to buy, purchase, provide more documentation for the current year?
Yes, so the question is, if the unit that, say, this applicant is chosen to purchase isn't ready until, say, November, then we'll be doing some income qualification closer to November, and at that time, we'll need the 2022 taxes because you would have filed them.
Because some of us, our tax returns were pandemic tax returns, so that could.
Right. So the comment is that 2020 was a pandemic year, so the income is going to be an aberration from other years. And, for our purposes, we're looking to see that you're under. Most people in pandemic year were less than. So, you have to talk to the bank about whether they're going to support a mortgage at a certain level. Yeah. Are there any other questions out there, or just?
Does it matter what number we are on the list? Am I like 25, or if I know my number?
There's no way for you to know where you are until you get the wait list. Because if you got picked, number 10,
I still have a chance.
you do. Yes. Because then we start going down the list. So, and this happened at Satcham's Path. Linda will remember where some people started to say, like, you know what, I'm not sure I want to live in a Satcham's Path house. There's a deed restriction on that. I think I could buy something in the open market, and I don't really want to cap the profit that I can make on real estate. Or, other people say, I don't really like that neighborhood, Sandpiper. I'm not really that into it. There's a lot of construction going on. I don't like the commercial aspect. They'll drop out. So then we're going to go to the next one down the list.
Even though they apply and do all that?
Yeah.
They do?
A lot can change between now and when they actually get to that point. What I also wanted to add for everybody, the covenant program, actually, if you don't end up qualifying because of assets or because of income, the covenant program runs all the way up to 150% of median. Forget the workforce housing at 175, but 150% of median. So you may earn 81%. You could qualify for a covenant, an open market covenant house up to 150%. So there are houses on the market for the covenant where your income is too high for the 80% or below. So I think more than half the covenant homes on Nantucket are probably the 81% to the 150s. So you're never really out of the ballpark if you earn 81% as opposed to 80% or below. There's a whole bunch of covenant stuff out there that is well over that, but under the 150. And the 150, what is 165,000?
The qualifying income now is like over 200,000.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
So, you're not out of the ballpark if you earn too much for the 80%ers. There's a whole bunch of other stuff out there up to 150%. So just keep that in mind when you see stuff turning over in the paper, that there's another option out there if you meet that requirement, but don't meet the 80% or below. And the definition of family has changed, and it's under the federal guideline of family. So it's not like mother, father, kids. Mother, mother-in-law, mother, you know what I'm saying? You have to work that out with Housing Nantucket, but the definition of family isn't 2 parents and 2 kids. That's not what it is.
Besides local preference, in any of these housing things, does age and have women, is that considered minority in buying, purchasing a home? I know it is getting small business loans.
The question is, are there any priorities for women and age qualified units? Not for this housing here. Perhaps there's some mortgages. I'm not aware of them that where there's a preference for women.
No, as a small business owner, we're considered a minority when we try to get a small business loan, so that's why I
Yeah, well, small business loan would be different than fair housing. Fair housing is talking about racial and ethnic minorities. So that's the fair housing aspect. Or, there could be disabilities or gender or religion and things like that. So there's discrimination for those. Yeah. Goodbye. Good luck. Okay, just the most important thing, just respond to our emails. Make sure you stay in communication with us. If you're chosen up there high on the list, make sure you get that document stuff to us right away. Good. Good luck.
So that was you still need all my documents, even though
No, we're going to send you the email with the wait list, and then in that email, we'll tell you you've been chosen up. I forget the language exactly, but it's basically like we need these required documents from you. You're high up. Bye.
good. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
So since I'm so high up, right?
Yeah.
How soon do you need the documents? So the reason why I asked is because I'm supposed to be traveling tomorrow, and I'll be back next week.
Yep. So the question is, how soon after you get the email from us will you need to get those documents back to us? I believe it is 1 week. So if you're going to be traveling, you have got to keep up with that. And I'm sorry, we will have a deadline in there. It's just we can't make an allowance if you're traveling. Just get that document to us before that.
The 1 week from the day when you send the email out?
It'll say in the email, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it'll say the date. So if we send it tomorrow, it will likely be 7 days from tomorrow.
Okay.
So you should prepare all of the documents ahead of time. And yeah, okay, good. So you get that email just ready to press send. You can email it to us as soon as you get the email from us.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, any other questions,
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
comments? Okay, for anybody watching this on YouTube, look forward to hearing from you and working together to get these units sold. So thank you. Good luck.